You ordered what?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. Today, I'm on my own. I think I'm going to be on my own through the whole episode. I've just realized there's a weird crop going on here with the... No, can't fix that. Whatever. Anyway, today, I'm on my own. And I want to just say, it's day 109, right? So it's been 109 days since I started this live feed Dean Callan Show thing. And honestly, the reason I started the Dean Callan Show / Cabin Fever, well, Cabin Fever, this version, the live version, is because I realized that I was doing this show to kind of practice my skill set so I could like build up to having my own actual show. I was doing it to share any bits and pieces of information I could get out with the bartender community. And I thought I should start a regular show during the lockdown period because people are going to be bored out of their minds. And it'd be a good opportunity for people I know, some people I don't know, to interact with each other and with me. And if I can help facilitate some of the kind of brand ambassadors reaching out to bartenders and consumers where they otherwise, they have to travel and they can't. It might be really handy. Now, pubs are starting to reopen. So for those of you who didn't notice, and this thing isn't, I don't have my macros working at the moment, so I can't show you, boom, video coming up of the news channels over the weekend. Not that you want to see the news anymore. I'm watching the news a lot, and I'm kind of like, are they putting fake news out there on purpose to make us not trust anything? Is Kanye West really running for government? Can you imagine Kanye West being like the president of the United States? Like, he's crazy enough that he can't hold it together to speak in front of his own fans at a concert. Never mind other world leaders. I've been to one of Kanye's concerts like 10 years ago. Honestly, president? Oh my God. Right, so that's the world we live in. Now, today, I've had a few close shaves. I had a really cool episode planned. The hard part is it's at 6 p.m. in the UK, which means if you're live streaming and want to have a live conversation with someone outside the UK and it's super early in the morning for them, it makes it struggle town. Okay, I'm not going to lie, it can be struggle town. Let me see if I've got, I just realized I am mega dehydrated. I was trying to get everything put together for the show, and I think I should probably have a little drinky McDrink. Now, I go through a lot of these little cans of Schweppes soda, a lot. So I thought to myself, right, this one's fallen through. I couldn't wake Mitch up. I was talking to him until 6 hours ago. So poor guy, I know he's asleep. So I thought, what did I do when I had no plan whatsoever in the beginning? I wasn't calling people in advance. I hadn't arranged a whole bunch of stuff. I didn't have giveaways. What was I actually doing? And I realized, actually, I was just winging it. So right before, because back in the beginning, I didn't have like a photoshopped image with like Dean Callan Show, episode 109 and all that fancy stuff. So I photoshopped the image like last minute. And I thought, what do I want to drink? London Calling is what I want to drink. I love London Callings. I would drink London Callings all day. So I put London Calling in, right? I thought I got some fresh Fino sherry. I got a few different gins that people have been lovely and sent to me. I'm going to make a couple of different comparisons of London Calling. So today I'm going to make a London Calling with Widges. Like Widge, if you watch the episode, actually said that, he loves the London Calling, and this works really well. Let's see how it goes. Bombay, right? Everyone knows Bombay. Good stuff. And Whitley Neal. Whitley Neal sent me some Whitley Neal. It tastes pretty good. let's see. These are very similar gins, right? So if anyone thinks that it's not going to be enough of a comparison, I can just reach back and get a random gin. But to begin with, I'm going to start with the recipe, right? Now, to my memory, the recipe was, I think it was 10 mils of Fino sherry, right? And when I say 10 mils of Fino sherry, that was my memory from my milk and honey bartending days. I lost my juicer. That was my memory from my milk and honey bartending days. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 mils Fino, 20 of lemon, and 15 of simple syrup, somewhere thereabouts. Could have had a bit more simple syrup. A couple of dashes of orange bitters, 3 dashes of orange bitters, I'm pretty sure the spec was, and 50 of gin, right? So with that in mind, I'm going to prep the lemons. I'm going to make 3 times that amount in a premix for the 3 different gins, so that, like, basically, in case you had one super sour lemon and then one super ripe lemon and all the rest of it, we're not comparing, you know, sour apples to like red, juicy, sweet apples. Oh, thanks, Julian. Thanks. I'm correct. I'm close enough to correct, I think. I was terrible at learning specs in bars. The main reason is because I had this stupid theory that you would have house cocktails, right? And the house cocktails would have set recipes. But then outside of that, you would learn your guests' taste, right? And say you've got weak here, strong there, sour here, and sweet here, right? And bitter and sweet are the opposite if you don't have any sour ingredients, right? If there is your house recipe, over time you start to learn the guests, right? And some of them want it a little bit stronger and like a little bit more boozy, a little bit stronger and drier, and a little less of the sweetness and dilution, whatever, right? So I would just scale back some of the lemon and some of the sugar, and bring the Fino up a tiny bit, and leave the booze where it was. And that's my idea of, if this guest has a sweet tooth and that one likes things super dry, and I'm making them both a London Calling, I'd, instead of doing 2 in one shaker, I'd do 2 separate ones and give one person the correct recipe with a little tiny drop less booze or a little bit more sugar, and one person the correct recipe, but with, you know, the proportions changed to make it taste a little bit more boozy and a little bit less sweet, right? But otherwise the spec would be the same as on the till. So I trained myself this, especially when I was a brand ambassador, chatting to people, giving them a free drink, and then having another little chat with them, and hey, there's another free drink. Unfortunately, when you're working in a place like Milk and Honey, where the drinks need to be exactly the same as they were the last time someone made one for someone else, that sort of shit doesn't fly. So it was a great place for me after years of brand ambassadorship to go back to relearn the crafts, if you will. Now, so lemon juice, juiced. Gonna get my Fino sherry on, and then we'll be ready. Now, the funny thing about this is I started working in Milk and Honey like late 2008, 2009, early 2009? I have no idea. Before 2010, okay? Before it was 2010. And Chris Jepson, so for those that don't already know, I believe this drink was created for Chris Jepson. I think it was for a Beefeater competition, and they somehow didn't like it. Like, what won? How do you have a drink that's so good that basically it's become a modern classic worldwide, right? More or less. Like, if you know your drinks, you know this drink, right? Like, it's like paper plane level, I believe, of popularity. Certainly in London. And what's the winning drink? What beat this? What was the criteria for this competition? Right, so Pheno. Now, I might put it straight into this guy, right? And yes, Mitch gives me shit for not measuring anything, right? He's like, yeah, you used to use a jigger and you used to be like a legit bartender back in the day. Like, what made you give up on, like, actually your whole trade? You've seen me, I never measure anything anymore. Oh yeah, right. So 3 is 60. Wow, I just spilt a little bit. Yeah, he's like, you never measure anything. What the hell is going on? He gives me shit. I'm making it for myself, and I'm putting really fancy, nice ingredients in. I mean, it's gonna taste nice. I know it's gonna taste nice. And I kind of like wing it a little bit, and proportions might be a little bit off, but I'm not charging anyone. So, whatever. It's my home bar. You got to remember, this is my home bar. This is where I live, making drinks for myself on a Monday afternoon. I got the aircon on because I need the aircon today, and that's 30 for 3. Now, tricky bit. Do I just put those in the shakers? I think I might. That might be a little bit more efficient. We've got a little bit of lemon juice left over. I don't want to get too boozy, so I'm not going to drink the whole cocktails, right? But I kind of think the London Calling lends itself really well to tequila or mezcal. And I also have a hunch that it would work well with aquavit, right? I don't know if I'm right, but I have a hunch it would work well with aquavit. So I kind of wanted to try that. Maybe we'll do the tequila one because I know it tastes great and it's worth playing around with. Right. But the aquavit one, maybe another day. We do a London Calling episode part 2. Right, so I know the last couple of times I've done this, I've made balls of it. So here's my 50 ml measure. Right, so the one on there is that guy, right? Where are you? There you go. And then wedges in the middle. So guys, keep an eye on this. Don't let me mess this up like I have in the past. Wedges in the middle, and then Whitley Neal that end. Do you remember the last time I did this? I actually put gin, or I put the base spirit in one of them twice, and then literally got all the way to pouring it out and was like, this one tastes different. Oh, I don't get it. I made it the right way. Whoa, it's completely different. Yeah, idiot. Dean, you stupid. Right, so we got 15, 20s, 35, plus 10s, 45. That's nice and neat. So about to there. This one, about to there. Oh, it looks short. What have I done wrong? All right. I hate this about myself. I do dumb stuff. Right. So, got my tenner. Sorry you have to watch this, folks. You know, if this show was like edited and not live, I would have been able, where is your 15? And then that one. And then 10. No, that was 20 and 15. All right. Mix you up. Happy days. Get him to the right amount. Boom. Right. Let's see how this goes. Keeping him in the same spots. Never properly tempering the ice. So crackly. Right. So your guys might be a bit on the tart side. I was 15 equal to Sam's. Just double check, the only ingredient I thought I didn't sound right was the amount of lemon. No, wait. I take that back. Incorrect. Fake news. What? It was 15 equal to simple syrup. Ah, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to have too much of an issue because the simple syrup was made cold at Milk and Honey. This is like 60 bricks, double syrup. So what do you think, Julian? Do you think we're going to be all right? What do we think? Ah, oh, it's too late, he says. It'll be tart. Maybe it will be tart, but maybe it felt like a lot of sugar. This crop is weird, isn't it? Is it just me? It's not just me. Yeah. Right. Fuck it. Ah, fun. Right. Whoo. Boom, boom. Yep. Still in the same spot. Let's see how this works out. Now, I've got glasses in the chiller here, but I decided because they're all different, probably better to use these guys. I love these guys. And Gavin's on the show. Thank you for the glasses, Gavin. You're a legend. Oh, it fits. Thank God. There's got wedges in the middle. Ooh, you can't see this, but the wedge one definitely looks a touch shinier. Ooh, like it's gonna taste slicker. Right, so there's our 3 drinks. Now, as I was telling this story, right, I started working at Milk and Honey long after Chris Jepson left. And obviously, when you're working in a bar and it's got predominantly classic cocktails, you start to realize, like, shit, I didn't realize how amazing the old-fashioned is. Everybody drinks old-fashions. And wow, like Manhattans are so good. You know, you're tasting them to balance. You're banging out Manhattans all the time. You start getting like that dialed in, the amount of whiskey, the amount of vermouth. Not that it's difficult, but I mean, you just start to feel it. But this drink, I feel like you couldn't go wrong. You know, if someone didn't know what they wanted, you offered them London Calling, and that was that. They were in. Ah, you know what I've done? I forgot the orange bitters. Right? I'm going to mix it throughout after the fact. That's pretty violently bad of me. See, this is what happens when you go in live. You really don't have anything prepared. You start to panic. You start to spill stuff. You start to think, what are people going to think of me? Like, will I be able to ever get a job again? Like, I'm not going to put the peels in, but you put a grapefruit twist over the top. But the peels are giant, so I don't want to kind of ruin the aesthetic. But normally I would fine-tune the peels and drop them in. Now, do I need? Where's my little tin of water? What did I just do? All right. Bombay. Julian, mate, no problem. This is delicious. It's actually, I was so worried it was going to taste bad, and I was going to have to be like, ugh, oh no, what have I done? Sorry guys, let's go back and remake it. But I don't have to worry about that. I'm happy with that spec. Ooh. I feel like the Bombay is letting more of the floral sort of flavors come through. It's got like more of a high volatile sort of a. It goes right up through your nose, and you can taste it on the, like, what do you call that? You know when you breathe back out and you get the secondary kind of aroma. Retronasal, whatever. I like this though. I have to say I like this. I'm terrified for this guy. I'm worried because like that there's a kind of a, you know when a gin kind of dances with lemon on the tongue rather than like just kind of marrying with it, and you get that candied what do you call, what's that stuff? It's like candy. They put it on the outside of cola bottles. A sherbety sort of flavor. Ooh. Okay, so these two are very similar. These two classic cocktails, delicious, nice. This, I think, like whether it's the coriander seed sort of flavor, where it's kind, you think it's citrus, but it's not citrus. That's much more citrusy. So if you really like orange and lemon, that one, like, and great fruitiness, like, but I think those two, considering Julian, yeah, it's impossible to fuck the drink up, but like I forgot the bitters, but it still works when you put the bitters in at the end. So did I? Right. They taste great, dude. Julian, come sit here, right? We'll map out on the floor the 1 meter line, right? Boom. I got aircon and stuff. You can come hang out, and then I'll make you drinks. We'll get a mask. So this guy, a little bit more fresh flavors, right? So I'm almost tempted. It feels like I'm getting mint on that, but I know I'm not. This guy, to be fair, I think out of all three of them, they're all delicious. If I were going to decide on which one I was going to make my house, it'd be between these two, and it would come down to costs. Whichever one I got at the most reasonable price, I'd use. And then if my staff were recommending a drink with either one of these, and maybe with that guy, the citrusy note kind of shooting out makes it almost too citrusy. I need more oily kind of gininess to it. But yeah, I'm terrible at doing descriptors, right? Like if Hannah Lamphere sees this, she's gonna fire me on the spot, right? So I'll put these back where they belong. I think, do you know a clover club is a clover club, but if you put a mint garnish and you add some mint to it, it's a clover leaf. I think like a London calling with a like a tiny hint of mint, just as a garnish for aroma, would actually be quite nice. Maybe a little mint infused into the spirit. Kind of, for some reason, I'm getting a last wordy aniseedy mintiness from that. Right, so that's that. That's a terrible example of how to make a London calling. I really like Julian said, it's really difficult to fuck this drink up. It normally would be really difficult to fuck that drink up, but it looks like I was easily able to fuck it up, which is great. You know, this is super fun, and it might lend to the conversation I'm about to have with anyone that's watching. If there's still people watching, yeah, make a last word. Well, I will make a last word. I'll tell you what. I've got this. I would make a last word. I did think last word, but I think I need to do a last word on a different episode. I'd like to do a variation on the London Calling, right? So we used 45 of this premix the last time, right? So there's the 45 mark. And I'm not losing my mind. Oh, that's just lemon juice, isn't it? That was the premix. Thank God. I am losing my mind. Let me just check. No, that is the premix. Going live. Oh, that's actually pretty tasty. Just that with soda water, pretty tasty. More sherry, obviously. 1, 2, 3. There we go. All right. Not gonna this one up. Right, so we got this mixed. Let's see what happens. Right. Aquaview. I know it works with tequila. I have to try this, right? Is it going to taste amazing? Oh. Let's find out. So for me, I think I love twists on drinks, right? But I also love families. So I'm working on my 50 best cocktails. I started my process. Look at this. Look at this. Do you remember the idea of the cocktail competition, where you get you draw a card, any card, and there's like basically playing cards, and you're like Tom Collins, daiquiri, Manhattan, old fashioned, Negroni, whiskey sour, right? And then your job is to make the Tom Collins, the daiquiri, the Manhattan, the old fashioned, the Negroni, the whiskey sour. You didn't know what was coming up. It was all shuffled. It's like rematch, but you can't. You have to plan as you go. Yeah, I started putting names to my 50 best playing cards today. When I get to 50, I'll get a designer to help me design something. It'll be amazing. We'll get a design going. We'll see if we can get some money put behind it. It's going to be super epic. Right, some ice. Last time I had pre-prepared the ice, knowing I was going to make 3 drinks, not 4. I have to take this opportunity to say thank you to the guys from Ice Studio London. They dropped off like a whole bunch of ice after the last episode, where they realized I was running out of ice. And on his way home, Carlos, who might be the sweetest, most genuinely nice guy in the industry, and in the bar industry, in the hospitality industry, or the industry that supplies the bar and hospitality industry, to be the nicest guy, that's not an easy feat. There's so many nice people in this industry. He's the nicest, right? Anyone that knows him, isn't he a sweetheart? Anyway, Ice Studio London for the ice. Right, so back to the Chris Jepson story. I'm working at Milk and Honey. The London Calling is like easily the biggest selling drink I'm selling, right? I'm selling them to everyone. Oh, have you tried a London Calling? It's so good. Oh, London Calling, it's the shizzle. You got to try London Calling. They're so delicious. Wait till you try a London Calling. You don't know what to have? London Calling. Floridora did pretty well. I sold loads of Floridoras on the floor, but London Calling, by far, my favorite. Love it. Never forget that recipe. Super easy. Then you forget it, right? With the orange bitters and such things. Now, I go to meet Chris Jepson. Now, I have to explain to everyone, because for those that don't know me, right, I come across like a confident person. Like, I'm standing in a room with a whole bunch of other confident people, and I'm being confident. I'm confident. I have confidence in myself. I have confidence in my abilities. I have confidence in the people around me. But I'm still a huge geek. And like, because Chris Jepson had invented what I believe to be a drink that would last the test of time and effectively immortalize him in the bar industry for all of time. Like, God knows how long people will be making London Callings for. That's so cool, right? And I can't go back in time and meet the guy that made the Corpse Survivor #2, but I've met the guy that made the London Calling. And I went to where he worked, and I mean, it was Bungalow 8 at the time, and he was the manager, so it's not like I can just roll up to the bar and he's there. And he's quite a cool guy. So it wasn't easy to just approach him. I had to actually get someone to get him. And I don't know, he was maybe with some famous people at the time. I don't know, there was loads of famous. Jason Statham was in there. I was at the bar for so long that I met one of the band members from, oh, damn it, I can't even remember the band, but it was a legit huge band. I had a whole bunch of their music, and I just didn't even realize. Snow Patrol. I was hanging out drinking with one of the guys from Snow Patrol for like half the night, just waiting to meet Chris Jepson. Chris Jepson eventually is like, who the fuck is this guy? Comes up, he's polite, he's nice. I've been asking for it. I'm like, Chris, I'm a big fan of your drink, the London Calling. Can you please make me one? And then I can like rest happy knowing that the guy that invented the drink made me one. There's not enough sugar in there. But fuck, that's interesting. I almost want to garnish it with like celery or dill or something and just keep rolling with the green, but not the same green as the mint. Like the dilly McDill face is just so, it's really interesting. Not enough sugar in this one. So whatever happened with the last ones, Julian, you're probably right. That spec was off on the sugar because this one needed a dash more sugar. But I know that adding sugar to it isn't representative of rebuilding a drink because I've consumed like half the drink already and I didn't really measure how much sugar was in there. But I'm going the other end just to see what flavors open up when I do add sugar back into it. And if I was working on this drink for real, I'd scale everything else back. I'd put more of that oily, botanical kind of almost soapy viscosity that you get from gin drinks is completely missing in this. It's more green, so it definitely didn't lend itself as well to lemon. It didn't hold up against the lemon as much. So I would scale the lemon back and probably the sherry up. But with a bit more sugar, it's very interesting. I'd say interesting. I would not say that I nailed it with that drink. In fact, totally didn't. Failed to do justice to this delicious spirit. But we'll see. We'll come back to it another time. Still tasty. I still keep going. It's moreish, right? It's making my mouth water because I'm tasting it and then my mouth is watering and I want to go back and have another little sip and I'm tasting it again. Interesting. Later date. If I come up with a drink off the back of that, winning. But I just kind of thought to myself, where's all the aquavit, right? And I realized that actually recently I went to a distillery that makes a bunch of different aquavits and I got like everything they had. Like I spent a fortune in there. I got everything they had, limited edition ones, all this cool stuff. And I thought to myself, I'm going to take this footage I recorded. I'm going to make an episode of the Dean Callan Show being like, oh, have you seen this? I'm a lazy person. I didn't make an episode. I've got the footage somewhere in a hard drive. I should look for that. Having just realized now, I've got the booze somewhere hidden in a corner here, all together as a collection. I'll get that out. We'll give the guys a call, get some much information from them. But before I close up, right? I'm winging it. I'm just having a rant. I'm just chatting shit. I might make myself a black Barbadian, right? Not my drink, Daniel's drink. And in case you didn't, I made a microphone out of ice. It's not very good. It keeps, if you hold it, it cracks. So, I mean, what am I supposed to do with it? I don't know. Right, so black Barbadian time. So, what is a black Barbadian, you ask? Well, you're about to find out. It is a black Russian with Neptune rum, right? Aged between 8, 5, and 3 years old. So, obviously, the guys that make Neptune rum are massive fans of the golden sequence, or the Fibonacci sequence, for those that don't know the golden sequence. If you haven't heard of the golden sequence, it's the name that they gave the Fibonacci sequence before Fibonacci discovered it. He discovered it, but I think he might have been the first white guy to discover it. But actually, the golden sequence had been discovered in nature by loads of people before Fibonacci came along. I don't think he was like fibbing in saying that he had discovered it. I think he might have just kind of popularized it. But anyway, I've got a photo next to Fibonacci, because basically golden sequence, in case you didn't know, is a mathematical kind of sequence which starts with 0 and then you get 1, right? And then the next number is 1. But 1 plus 1 is 2. So you got 1, 1, 2. And then the next one is 3. And the reason the next one is 3 is 2 plus 1 is 3. Then 3 plus 2 is 5. And then 8 and 13 and so on, right? 21, 34, 55. Golden sequence. So 3, 5, and 8, all golden sequence. Now, we're Kahlua. So I am not in the mood for 49% sugar. Oh, that's a good idea. Let's not put as much sugar in. Let's have a find of where the frickin' hell I've hidden Mr. Black's. Up the back. I started running out of space, so I had to rearrange everything, and they weren't all in the same spot. I started arranging things based on bottle shape. If you're a brand owner and you've decided that you want as much facing on the back bar as possible, and you make a big, wide, fat bottle, but it's flat, guess what? You see all these? Oh, you can't see them. There's a bunch of whiskeys over here that are basically stacked this way, because I can't fit as much on there. The Knob Creek guys get it. Notice the difference? You can see Knob Creek on the side, right? So, Martin, I know you're not watching this, but just put a label down the side, or like get it, you know, make it so that that label goes around and then says, like, there's one that goes up here, Mr. Black, just in case we put it flatways, because I couldn't find it just then. Anyway, ranting again, just throwing it out there. Now, I'm going to put a heavy glug just to piss Mitch off in case he does actually watch this. Not measuring. Ooh. How large is a heavy glug, you ask? Oh. It's just 3 parsecs bigger. Right. Now. Wait. Damn it. Black Barbadian. I hope I made that right, right? Was it overproof coffee? Dude, I don't have the overproof coffee liqueur. You didn't give me the overproof coffee. How am I supposed to know? Next time, right? Anyway, for those that don't know, just as I was setting up the London Calling episode, this thing, So see the way it says just Dean by himself? Yeah, I was photoshopping that, and then I got a message from Daniel saying, make, huh? Oh, you've got the Ron stuff. Anyway, look, guys, I do. Let's do a comparison. This one with coffee liqueur, or that one as a kind of rum and coke. Is it still a Black Russian if it doesn't have like the two parts to begin with? Is it a rum and coke now, but with coffee rum? Right? These are the questions that need to be asked. So I'm going to make this short. And in one of these guys, right? Look at that. Oh. So Ron Cologne coffee liqueur, 55.5. Let's have a look. Right? That's pretty fucking good, actually. It's the Kahlua. If someone from Kahlua is watching this, no offense, but the Kahlua now makes this one taste like candy, and that one tastes like amazing. So you guys, you shouldn't know. So anyway, you guys is there a coffee version of this? Is that what we're getting at? Anyway, because it can't be a Black Barbadian if it's from El Salvador. Like, I'm so confused. You said make a Black Barbadian. I call it a Black Barbadian. You make it from, right? And so it has to have this in it. Or did you want these two together? All right, yeah, I did use Mr. Black. Damn, Mr. Black, shit. How much sugar's in Mr. Black? Is it 12% sugar? Oh, I'm losing my mind. This is, you know, your IQ drops when you're live on air. This is really good though. If you're saying add these two together, you need to come visit. No, I don't know how to put this to you, but this tastes more like you've taken this, you've taken this, and then you've put a few coffee beans in a bottle of this, put it in a sonic prep for a minute, and then rip the coffee beans out. It does not taste even remotely like this or Mr. Black's or anything else. There's no sugar. But just because I love and respect you very much, I will put myself through I love this, right? I love being able to actually, Electra won't let me do it yet, but one day I'm going to move that screen there so that I can see it. I've already started putting together this, so I have to unplug something. But see this? This is like the brain box of the show. So all these buttons do stuff. Watch this, watch this. You ready? When I push this button, boom. Back to there, boom. Back to there, look at this, look at this, look at this. There you go. Ah, there you go. There's the brain box, right? So they're going to be strapped down at some point. That's how the whole show runs. I'll do it. I'll do it. Let's see how this works. We'll get one of these. Ah, it's so slow. Uh, 50-50? Won't have coffee flavor if it's not 50-50. Like, it's not a lot of intense coffee. It's like a hint of coffee. Damn, have to reach down for the stupid cola. So immediately, as soon as I look at it, look at this. Right, so the one with Mr. Black's, I kept thinking I could taste the sweetness. I don't think Mr. Black's was designed to be mixed with Coca-Cola. In fairness, I don't think they've seen us doing that. I would hazard a guess that they don't have on their website a Black Russian, but you can still see the little bits of like built up sugar, like that frothy, creamy foam. No foam, right? So no foam, fresh foam, and that foam's died, and that I have to say must come from the sugar. So there's already a lot of sugar in Coca-Cola, but as we've discussed on this show previously, cola is effectively citrus and Christmas spices. So with rum and coffee, it should taste amazing. Now, ooh. I like that one better. Mate. I wonder what it is. Because okay, so both of these taste delicious. I have to say it might be that the lower ABV of this softens it out a little bit. Yeah, they're fucking delicious. Dangerous though, right? Dangerous. Now, 2 parts Barbadian. Man, in the future, 2 parts Barbadian, 1 part coffee liqueur. Great. Oh, you didn't use Coke though. Mate, okay. I'm old, right? Daniel, I love you to bits, but I turn 40 next year. And I've been bartending my whole life. You know, I didn't have a life until I started bartending. So when someone says Black Russian, I think vodka Kahlua, equal parts, because that's what I was trained, topped with Coca-Cola, right? In a fucking hurricane. Like, I mean, you're lucky it wasn't in this, right? Like that's the closest I've got to a hurricane. I should get a hurricane glass just for shits and giggles. But honestly, like when you say, hey Dean, make a Black Barbadian. It's a Black Russian, right? But with Neptune rum. I think Neptune rum, base ingredient now, instead of vodka. Proportionately, it replaces the vodka. And then you put your Kahlua. We're lucky I didn't put Kahlua in because Kahlua is like 50% fucking sugar. And then we moved to Mr. Black's, which I believe is like 20% sugar, 25% sugar. Is it 25% alcohol and I'm mixing up the sugar? No one's told me how much sugar is in Mr. Black's, but it's less than Kahlua. It's considerably less than Kahlua, right? We got Mr. Black's now instead of Kahlua, which we're already, this is like uber mixology for someone my age. Like Mr. Black's didn't exist when I started bartending, right? In my day, there was no Mr. Black's, literally. And then the Coca-Cola. And like, look, it's got clear ice. I mean, in my day, a Black Russian had that disco ice. And when I say disco, I mean disc, like flat, so that the machine can fill up with water, freeze as quick as possible, and then dump and move on. Because people drank at pace in those days. The ice didn't have a chance to melt. It was just flat, shitty bits of cloudy ice stacked on top of each other, but the drink disappeared and the ice stayed. You know, you could have made a block of ice from the leftover ice in the drinks because people drank them fast in my day. So next time, if you want me to just put this and then the coffee liqueur, just tell me. Right? Am I wrong? So Coke came later. Right, cool, man. I haven't researched that shit. I'm really sorry. So no cola. Fuck it. Let's do it. Are we putting these two together? Can I get a response? Yeah, angry old bartender. Ah, come on, give me a response. The drinks tasted good. They tasted good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at them like they remind me of my youth. Like maybe I'm the wrong generation, but this is what we should be making for boomers. So what are we doing? Tell me. Just these two? Go wild? Just these two? You're the one that said it. You're the one that said it. It will be boozy as hell. Right. Now, one thing I really want to research is the different ice sizes on the different glasses and how much the volume changes between the two, right? What's the perfect piece of ice for the perfect glass? And I think people like Julian DeFaro should come here with me, have all the free drinks he wants, and for no interest other than to help the bar industry, we'll go through one by one and test size of ice, like net volume, right? Can we do that? I'll pay for the drinks. I know you want to. All right. I'm going to give this a stir. So this is the Black Barbadian, right? This is the Black Barbadian. Damn it. The map. Look, check this out. Isn't that just like, look at it. Apart from this bit of shiny stuff, right? If I could have a Vanta black bar spoon, I would buy it. I'd buy it. Might be the only person in the world with one, and you can't touch it. You basically, I would buy it and put it in a vacuum chamber, just to have it. Gabby, thank you. We used to make them with Tia Maria when I started, like here, add to broadcast. This is what I should be doing all the time. If I had a producer, this is the shit I would see. When I started tending bar in the 80s. Gabby, thank you. That's someone that actually has been there. Tia Maria was the shit, right? So how did I get to Kahlua? Right. Oof. It's got a rummy but straight up coffee. I don't know whether the combination of the two helps bring out the coffee flavor. Maybe the higher proof is retaining the flavor of the coffee beans, because coffee beans are super complex. You can't make a fake coffee flavor. You need real coffee because it's just too much in there. But it smells like pure coffee. It smells like I'm just smelling like not fresh, but old coffee beans. I think if you didn't know coffee, yeah, you would get coffee. Fuck, that's actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, that's really good. I do, rather than, okay, in the interest of transparency. Up until today, on this show, I've finished all the drinks that I've poured. The reason I've finished all the drinks is out of respect for the people that have worked really hard to craft the spirits that go into those drinks. I've worked on every different level, I believe, apart from being a salesperson. I feel like I've sold stuff, but I've never had to get someone to sign a contract for volume, right? But all different levels of the booze industry, from bartending to physically like shoveling stuff at a distillery. And I think if you had not planned to finish the drink, then you should probably have not started the drink. And I don't mean like you have to down a drink. Absolutely not. If you want to have a pint with people and you start drinking the pint, you decide, I really don't want this, definitely do not down it. That's irresponsible. But I mean, like, for someone that drinks as much as I do, you know, right? So I'm doing this because it's a show. But I'm not drinking these. I'm getting rid of them, and I'm making a point of it. Like, that's me done for these ones. Because they taste great, but the purpose wasn't consumption. The purpose was, like, having a debate, having a thought process on the show that wasn't planned. There you go. This tastes fucking great. I know what it tastes like. I'm not going to forget what it tastes like. Being the person who, for most of my bartending career, wanted constantly to build up the kind of back bar that I've got today, but had absolutely no way near the kind of funds that would be required or the stability in my life to even think about putting it together, I would never have been able to throw this out. So, out of respect for the spirit, I am going to make an old-fashioned out of it. Not to consume the old-fashioned, but just because I want to know what it would taste like if I take the Mole Oaxaca bitters and throw that into this drink. A couple of drops. And then add just a tiny bit of sugar, and I might need to add a tiny bit more. But literally, there's so little in this glass that it doesn't represent the amount of booze that you would put in an old-fashioned. So, and being freezing cold already, sugar's not going to dissolve very well, even though it's syrup. So, now, had I made a mole bitters, twist on an old-fashioned, little orange twist on there. I think orange and coffee go really well together. Oh, smells good. The coffee notes really, really, really support the rum. That has made a massive difference. I'm really glad I did that. I'm really glad I did that. So, that said, oh man, that tastes good. That said, I am looking forward to the end of the whole lockdown situation. But I have to admit, doing 3 live episodes a week started with me knowing that, you know, I'm not going to lie, I know full well that I might have worked hard for it, but I have a position of privilege to have this in my back garden, right? Like, I've got a whole bar in my house, and I have a bunch of camera equipment, and I know how to put all this stuff together, and like, I've got time. I don't have as much time as I thought I had, but I've got time. So I thought to myself, I should, not being able to leave my house, do something to give back. Now, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't just donate money to people, but I can at least donate my time. And time is money. You can spend money, you can earn money, you can spend time, but you can't earn your time back. Once you've spent it, it's done. You can't earn more time. Like, maybe in the future, someone will figure out how we can live forever, but not today. As far as I'm concerned, today, there is a finite amount of time that we get in this world, and we don't even know how much it is. So for me, I thought giving up my time was a nice thing. I think the show, now that people are going back to work, Fridays, maybe we move it to earlier. I've said this before, but I think I might drop the Fridays, do Monday and Wednesday, and move it to maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. Gabby, I understand that kind of screws with the live feed for LA. But ultimately, maybe we do sporadic live sessions. So, for example, if you and I were going to have conversations with people, if we were going to loop someone in from LA, I can wake up at any time of the day and do a random, completely off the cuff, different time zone live feed. But if I bring it earlier, it gives me the option to talk to people from Singapore, for example, people maybe from Australia. Don't know how Australia is going to work, but by moving the times around, it's going to work a little bit better, certainly for me, because I'm missing my son's dinner time and bath time. So that said, if you've been watching, thank you so much for hanging out this long. Yeah, thank you for hanging on this long. Also, there's still spots, there's still spaces to do the Grant's whiskey cocktail challenge thing. So I've got that 5-year-old. I've got quite a lot of it. I've got a whole liter there. If you're still interested, the cutoff is tomorrow. Just send me a message, comment, and let me know that you're interested, and I will send you the samples. You can make a drink with it, and that drink doesn't have to be a fancy cocktail. I think Hadrian kind of scared everyone off the last time. I'm not gonna say Joe scared everyone off. Joe was very, very polite and comfortable and friendly. Hadrian was like, I'm a super bartender. Like his back bar, in fact, I kind of want to invite him back. His back bar was epic. That's his home bar. Anyway, if you want to make a cocktail with it, let me know. There's one spot available. Rock and roll. And until Wednesday, I think it's Monday. Wednesday? Yeah. Until Wednesday. Yeah, I'll see you Wednesday.